All right, today we're going to dive into a really powerful idea, a framework for rethinking our relationship with, well, pretty much everything. Our jobs, our stuff, even our loved ones. It's all about a shift from the heavy weight of ownership to the amazing freedom of trust. So let's jump right in. I mean, it's a feeling we all know, right? The weight of all our stuff, our responsibilities, even the people in our lives. Sometimes it can feel like a huge burden. It's this quiet pressure that just builds and builds until you start to feel like you're being defined by what you have instead of who you actually are.
So, what's behind that feeling? Well, the sources we're looking at today point to one core misunderstanding, something they call the illusion of possession.
You know the feeling. Life can seem like this nonstop race to just get more. More stuff, more control, more status. It's like we're on a treadmill. But here's the thing. That race doesn't lead to freedom. It actually creates what our sources call the burden of false possession. And that's just an exhausting cycle of trying to manage and hold on tight to everything.
But what if there's a totally different way to look at the world? The alternative that's presented here is this really beautiful concept from Islamic philosophy called amana. And it basically translates to a sacred trust.
Okay, so at its heart, amana is a huge shift in perspective. It's all about moving from being an owner to being a caretaker, a steward. The idea is that everything we have, our time, our talents, our relationships, it's not actually ours to own. It's just been entrusted to our care for a little while.
And this comparison really breaks it down, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the ownership mindset, which is all about accumulation and control, and that just always leads to pressure. But check out that last point. It makes us defend our mistakes, right? Because they feel like these huge personal failures. Now, on the other side, the trust mindset sees life as a journey. It lets relationships actually breathe. And, this is so important, it reframes mistakes. They aren't failures you have to hide. They're just opportunities to learn and correct course.
Now, this shift isn't just some intellectual exercise. It fundamentally changes how you carry yourself, your internal posture. It's what our sources refer to as the stance of the self.
So when you adopt this stance of trust, a few amazing things start to happen inside you. First, you're protected from that feeling of haste, that frantic need to jump in and control every little outcome. Second, responsibility is still there, but it feels totally different. It gets lighter. You carry it with a sense of purpose, not a sense of pressure. And third, mistakes just aren't about your ego anymore. They're just things to be fixed. See, the goal here isn't to be perfect, it's to be mature.
Man, this quote just nails that internal feeling, doesn't it? It's about a shift. From feeling like you're carrying the crushing weight of the world on your shoulders to just carrying a sense of direction. There's a calm purpose in that, a real quiet grace.
All right, so once that change starts happening inside us, how does it ripple out? Let's take a look at how this whole idea of trust can completely redefine our connections with other people.
Okay, so here's the key takeaway. It's not the bond itself that makes a relationship feel heavy. It's the sense of ownership we try to attach to it. The moment we try to possess someone, love gets heavy. But when we see them as a sacred trust, love gets rescued. It's rescued from that possessiveness and transforms into this protective, caring instinct.
And you really see this play out everywhere. Think about family. That constant need for control and surveillance gets replaced with faith. It gives everyone space to breathe. And at work, a manager's authority stops being about feeling superior and starts being about feeling responsible for the actual human beings in their care. And with friends? Wow. You stop asking, what can I get from this person? And you just start valuing them for who they are. And that builds some serious loyalty.
This just says it all perfectly. One approach, ownership. It suffocates. The other, trust. It nurtures. A relationship that's built on trust becomes a kind of safe harbor, a place that guards you and helps you heal.
Okay, so let's pull the lens back a bit. What does all of this mean for our big picture approach to life? Well, it's about cultivating the state of being we can call living with lightness.
And listen, this is a really key distinction here. This whole philosophy isn't about turning your back on the world or just becoming passive. No, it's actually the opposite. It's about engaging with life more deeply, more carefully, but without letting it define you or consume you. It's about knowing what's in your hands without letting it get a grip on your heart.
So after everything we've talked about, that internal shift, the way relationships can transform, this new way of engaging with the world, it really all boils down to one single core principle, one essential truth.
And there it is. That's the central teaching. The houses, the jobs, the awards, all of that stuff fades. What actually endures, what truly lasts, is our stance. It's how we conducted ourselves. It's the grace, the care, and the responsibility we showed for everything that was placed in our trust.
And that brings us to our final thought, the legacy we all leave behind. It's not about what we gathered up, but about the permanent trace we leave on the world, just through our character.
And I just want to leave you with that idea, a legacy of ownership that leaves behind words in the dust, right? A list of things you did, things you had, but a legacy of trust that leaves behind a presence, the feeling of care and dignity and grace that you brought into the world. And that is a really powerful question to sit with. What kind of trace are you trying to leave behind?